Now, of course, this movie, when the time came out, uh, there was it still did very well in the box office because it was mostly the hype after Goldeneye, but this began a bit of a shift in uh, in terms of the writing of the Pierce Brosnan films, and of course, end up kind of circling back into enjoyment, especially how life imitates art, art imitating life, circular motion. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the whole Star Wars prequels when they came out and nobody really gave them like well, justifiably not a fair shake. But over time, with certain other material or just more nuances and let things marinate, looking back on it, we see like the what was being told that wasn't appreciated at that time. It does tend to happen every once in a while with certain films, like with Spider-Man 3, the original Spider-Man 3, where of course we know that the director didn't want Venom in it. He just wanted to tell like a Sandman story, but he was kind of forced to include Venom because Venom was very popular with people. So it kind of got a little clunky with certain writing. Uh, but we'll get further into Tomorrow Never Dies in a second. But once again, we got Pierce Brosnan reprising his role as Bond. This was directed by Roger Spottiswoode. Or Spotswood. We got Jonathan Pryce as Elliot Carver. Michelle Yeoh as Wei Lin, agent of the Chinese Ministry of State Security. Terry Hatcher as Paris Carver, former girlfriend of Bond. Gotts Otto as Richard Stamper, Carver's henchman. Ricky Jay as Henry Gupta. Joe Don Baker reprises his role as Jack Wade, the CIA liaison. Vincent Schiavelli as Dr. Kaufman. Judi Dench as M. Desmond Llewellyn as Q. And Samantha Bond as Miss Moneypenny. So, after Bond steals a plane with nuclear warheads before the area that he was infiltrating gets blown up, this British naval fleet or ship, the HMS Chester, a real life sea vessel, gets attacked by what was that henchman's name? Doggone it. Get attacked by Stamper and his crewmen working for Carver, utilizing Chinese military weapons. Carver, being a media mogul, orchestrated this attack just to get the main headline, or at least the first major headline of Chinese and UK going to war with each other, and escalations and stuff like that. Pretty much, making the news. Now, of course, like I said, it's being ahead of its time. This media mogul is profitizing off of misinformation, which nowadays is quite prevalent in certain aspects, never minding the political affiliate that you're opposed against. Spreading misinformation to suit whatever agenda that you kind of want, or at the very least fluffing or exaggerating certain areas to please your case. It doesn't happen like everywhere, but certain things get seeded into the zeitgeist that kind of bolster a political pundit's argument nowadays. Like I said, this movie completely ahead of its time, using terms like misinformation before it became a prominent thing on everybody's lips now. Uh, so uh, M has 48 hours before the British Navy ships get sent out to deal with this situation, and M trying to avoid a possible World War III situation, sends Bond to investigate Carver because it's kind of strange that his newspaper rag got you know this information out there before the Chinese government was able to investigate because on near their waters. So this seems kind of fishy, which is kind of dumb on Carver's part because how does it not look suspicious that you get all this kind of information out there before these governments manage to even do their investigation? I mean, you could have at least give it like a some bit of time so it can kind of doesn't look kind of weird. It's kind of like, like I said, it's like you're making the news because you're causing it to happen so you can be able to be the first on the scene kind of situation. It looked anybody with a brain cell will look at it kind of fishy. You could at least give it a birth of time just so it's like you can therefore placate to ignorant or not ignorance, but it's like, hey, I'm just like any news outlet. Just because I might be slightly ahead of every other outlet, I'm still within a well time frame where it doesn't look like I'm anyway involved in any of this. I'm just saying it's kind of dumb. But he's an egomaniac, so I guess it kind of tracks for him to go out of his way to make sure he's first. Anyway, Bond infiltrate this party he's holding under the guise of a banker, and of course, Carver just so happens to be married to one of his old flames, who he pumps for information, but she still has feelings for him, gives him certain information in order to get inside inside Carver's facility in order to get this encoder thing that was used in order to cause the attack on the British vessel. But Carver, come to find out about the past hookup, not liking that, got her killed by Dr. Kaufman, who's skilled at torture and faking deaths. Bond goes into his hotel room, finds her, and of course, you see like a videotape of this news outlet that was going to be played later on to fake like this British agent was having this affair with Carver's wife and did this kind of murder death ticking on livelihood, trying to be, you're supposed to have free speech, but YouTube will go crazy for certain words, but unaliving themselves. But thanks to Q Branch with his cell phone tasing the doctor, because we see everybody trying to break into Bond's BMW, where in the safe glove compartment thing, housing this encoder, and they can't get inside this thing. Even though a few minutes later they shoot out the windows, maybe because the level security thing that he initiated prevented those sledgehammers to breaking the glass. But later the bullets, after Bond makes his escape inside this car, managed to break the glass. It's just like, okay, sledgehammers couldn't break it, but then you utilize bullets to break it. It's like that should have been like the first thing you did, to shoot out the glass and get the thing inside. That part was kind of dumb. It didn't make any freaking sense logically. But he kills this German, makes his way to the parking lot where he uses remote control in the phone to mess with these henchmen and make his escape. It was a fun little scene too. Shout out to Q Branch. So after breaking the facility and meeting up with this Chinese agent, Wei Lin, bumping into her at least a couple of times before they end up teaming up. But the last time when Bond does this dive, thanks to the help of the American government, he dives into the waters where the vessel sank, infiltrated the boat, and find like one of the cruise missiles was taken from the wrecked vessel. He bumps into Wei Lin again. They make their escape before the vessel completely falls deeper into the ocean, and they get picked up by Otto and his and the other henchmen, being taken back to China into one of Carver's buildings in this Chinese headquarters. And of course, expecting them to be tortured for information, and just out of sheer pettiness for Bond taking his wife or having his wife or whatever. But the duo make their escape and making their way to Wei Lin's little hideaway, where we see all these little weapons and gadgets and stuff, which is pretty dope. They rearm themselves and make their way to this to Carver's like this incognito vessel that he used in order to hide himself from other radar, so he can cause the attack between the Chinese and British governments. But thanks to their investigation, Wei Lin and Bond sent out messages to their fellow governments to notify them that they're being played, so that way they won't cause any kind of international incident under fake information. Now, kudos to this movie, because nowadays we do not want to upset the Chinese government, so we can't depict them as some type of bad guy or anything like that, even though it isn't seen here, aside from a Chinese general that is working with Carver, which we never see him get his comeuppance in any kind of fashion, because he only seen briefly. But this Carver's plan is getting these two governments to clash. This Chinese general working his way up as this hero, getting a Nobel Peace Prize, ending this conflict, and having Carver getting the exclusive rights to the Chinese market for media purposes. Uh, but Wayland and Bond made their way on Carver's vessel, set up explosive to blow up. Even though it might not sink this vessel, it'll definitely leave a big gaping hole in order to signal the nearby vessels from China and the UK, so that way they'll know where they are. So that way they can, sink it permanently. But since it's technically on the UK waters, the Chinese vessel sent out a message to the British vessel. It's like, technically they're on your side. If they make their way over our side, we'll deal with it. But hey, they're on your waters. You can handle it. Happy hunting. Which I like this. It's like, despite, certain little tidbits of differences and ideologies and way of living and what have you, we have some commerce here, and it's like dealing with terrorism. We no government suffer any fools when it comes to that kind of thing. Especially if somebody's trying to play governments like that. It goes to show like absolutely not. We're not tolerating that stuff. So, Bond and Wayland work together, stop Carver. He dies by this drill that's inside this facility, and they take out Otto. And as they escape the wreckage of the ship, they end up making out while the British vessel is searching for them. And that's pretty much the end of that film. It's relatively quick, but it's still a very entertaining film. Like I said, when it comes to like misinformation and things of that sort, and in the media, it was ahead of its time. Looking back on it, this elevates the quality of this film a lot more than we realized back when it first came out, because we kind of scoffed at the plot at that time. But in any case, let me know in the comments below what you guys think. It's kind of wild to see like of course, leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think of this film. But looking back at it, man, Michelle Yeoh aged very gracefully, perfectly. But it's kind of wild to see her so young back then. But like I said, she aged very gracefully. So did Terry Hatcher. Just they got great genes, right? But yeah, this is so much fun returning to this film. But leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think about like the characters, the pros and cons of this film. Because yeah, like I said, it's not a perfect film, but it's still like a fun action Bond film. Right off the heels of GoldenEye. But the next Bond film, the last Brosnan film that I want to review, will be The World Is Not Enough. Yeah, The World Is Not Enough. And right after that will be Daniel Craig's Casino Royale, both of which I'll try to do both next week and review them. If I can't do both, I'll definitely just deal with The World Is Not Enough by itself, but we'll see. But let me know in the comments below what you guys think, and I will see you guys later on for some gameplay of something. Haven't decided. But anyway, I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Peace.